This video will show you the essential apps that every Android user should have in order to preserve their battery. There are 3 different apps and each one has their own use and they go together very well. So there's really no excuse to not have these 3 apps, especially if you're rooted and plan on optimizing your battery performance. The first of the 3 apps, which are all free by the way as the title says, is called Clean Master, and here's the app. Now what this is primarily known for is preserving hard drive space, so it'll eliminate junk files as you can see there. But another effect that it has is it can free up memory, so RAM and your cache as well, which when you have a lot of apps running, this puts strain on the battery and in turn it reduces the time you can use your phone. And it also increases the amount of lag that you might see when scrolling or switching through windows. So how it frees up lag and gives you more battery power is you go to this memory boost here and it'll detect which apps are running and which ones are costing you a lot of RAM and memory, and then you can just press this boost here and there you go, look, 142 megabytes of RAM just released. When you press done, you can see the change in the top half there. I'm also going to show you really quick how it'll free up hard drive space. Here's a quick scan that it does. It should be done in about 2 seconds. And there you go. I have 4 megabytes of junk files, which you just press this button and there we go, 4 extra megabytes for me. Now this also has settings to delete web history and cookies and stuff like that, which I guess increases your privacy, but I don't really use those. And also it has a setting to delete obsolete apps like old APKs that you probably used but then you uninstalled, but the APKs are still left over, which also costs you space. And it has an additional feature that can help move apps to the SD card to free up even more space. Now I like this app a lot because it can be set to auto clean when you're putting your phone to sleep, and it can be set to alert you to re-clean at certain intervals. So like every week it'll give you an alert that your phone maybe has some junk files or some apps that are running which shouldn't be running, and then you can continuously renew, or you can set it to do it by itself, whichever way you prefer. In my opinion, if you get just one of the 3 apps that I'm about to show you, get this one because it's completely free and the makers are awesome. They don't want any money for this, and it's just a terrific all-around app that every person should use. I mean, it's pretty popular, but there's some people that might not have it. The second app, and you've probably already heard this name before, is Juice Defender. So let's go to it really quick. Now this app is different because what it does is it turns off data exchange like 3G, 4G, etc. when your phone is asleep. So when you press the power button and turn off your phone, put it to sleep, it shuts off any data exchange, and which saves you a lot of battery. Like when you have 4G on all the time, especially when you're not using your phone all day, this costs you so much battery. I couldn't believe how much extra hours I got off my phone when I installed this. And it can be configured to select which apps to put to sleep when your screen is off. So let's say you can turn Gmail to sleep when your phone is off, so you won't receive any emails when your screen is off. Also, it can be configured to your desired level of aggression for apps. So I have it on balanced all the time, but for people that really want like extra minutes of battery, just put it to aggressive or extreme, or you can even customize really like almost all the settings. Now this is the paid version of the app, it's the ultimate version, but the free version is still very worth it. In my opinion, it's an essential app for any Android user. You'll still get a lot out of it, but there's 3 different versions actually. There's one that's $2, and then there's this one which is like $4 I think. And each upgrade you do comes with extra features that you can use. This one, it has benefits like it can schedule when to turn off data or when to turn your Wi-Fi on or off. So let's say you arrive home at the same time every single day, it'll turn your Wi-Fi on when you arrive at that time, and then you can have it set it to turn it off like when you leave your house, if you leave at the same time or whatever. And it also has a smart brightness, which it detects the same thing, like time-wise, when you arrive home, or let's say it's 9 p.m., it'll turn down the brightness and then give you a nice tint, which will reduce the battery strain. So I think it's worth buying the full version, but you can still use the free version. It's still worth it, in my opinion. Also, for people that use Wi-Fi a lot, you shouldn't be scared of this app, because even if you continuously turn your screen off temporarily, it won't turn your Wi-Fi off unless you specifically set it to do so. So if you personally press the button and turn your Wi-Fi on, it'll ignore the setting to turn it off whenever you put your phone to sleep. So it's very customizable, and it won't get in the way unless you let it. And the app itself is pretty self-explanatory. There's an enable, disable here, which you can put a widget on your home screen to get quick access to disable, enable if you want to. And then here's the different settings. You get aggressive, extreme, customize. You shouldn't touch that, like advanced, customize. You shouldn't really bother with those unless you really want to get in depth and control every little detail. But I find balanced is enough for me to get the most out of it. And then there was a notification that's continuously up on your top bar, which I don't like when things are there, so I disabled the notification. This doesn't really affect performance. You can disable it if you want to. Other than that, there's just an activity log down here. That's pretty much it. The app is pretty easy to control. This last app requires that your phone be rooted, and in my opinion, if you're not rooted, you should really consider it, because it's so easy and it opens up so many possibilities for your phone, like preserving battery or customization. And anyways, it's called Greenify, which it's down here. And this app is different than CleanMaster because it puts apps to sleep when you're not using them, basically. Which is, if you've ever held an iPhone or you've seen someone else use it, you may be aware that whenever they exit an app, it will like shut it off or put it to sleep. Android doesn't do that by itself. It keeps them running in the background, which, if you open 15 apps a day, it'll all add up and cost you a lot of battery time. So when you open the app up, it'll identify which apps are leeching off your battery the most, and you just press plus here, and then you can scroll down and pick which apps to put to sleep when you're not using them. And it'll tell you which ones will push Google Cloud messaging here on the right, which will wake up the app if you want it to. And an important thing to note is this does not freeze the app. It just restricts it from using memory or data when you're not currently in it. But the app will still work normally. Now, there is a paid version of this app, which is like $3, but I wouldn't recommend buying it yet because it's still in beta, and while it does have some useful features added, I would wait until it comes out of beta and is ready for, commercial use. But other than that, this app isn't as well known as CleanMaster or Juice Defender, but in my opinion, it completes the holy trinity of battery-saving apps, and you should be downloading it right now when this video is over. One thing I forgot to mention is, if you've ever seen Google's apps, you may have noticed that they cost a lot of memory to run, and being that they're mandatory installs to have on your phone, this app will ignore those. But if you're like me and don't use a lot of Google's apps, you can press the plus here and then scroll down and then show more apps, and this will show every single app that you own, and then you can go to whichever one you choose and put it to sleep when you're not using it. But it doesn't do that by default because apparently Google's very important, and shutting off their app when you're not using it is bad. And that's it for this app. Anyways, guys, if you've stuck with me so far, I want to thank you for watching. And before I go, if you are concerned that some of these apps cost money when I'm saying the title says that they're free, the free versions are just as good. So they're all mandatory, in my opinion. You should be downloading them when you get a chance, because they will make a tremendous difference other than not having them at all. But thanks for watching. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like my videos, please give them a like. If you don't like them, feel free to dislike. That's okay too. and I'll see you guys in the next video.